such an odd feeling because there's one where you want to be just completely devastated and disappointed. And yet there's another side of you that's just like, what are you surprised about? Of course this was going to be the result today. Of course. It was so silly. And you all try and do a good job. Like, I'm trying to do a good job of having faith and believing and wishing and hoping that this is going to be different and that this is going to be a performance that you could be proud of with the team. And maybe some of you are by God knows what in the second half. By outscoring the Packers in the second half. There's a lot of friggin' weirdos that we can get into, and you guys can, put the passing statistics in the rafters somewhere, which bully for you guys. But this game, this loss is just another one in the pantheon of you hope, you pray, you're like, all right, this is going to be the one. Prime time, good opponent, maybe some adverse conditions, a little chilly-willy. Can they, for once, can they rise to the occasion? And the game essentially got lost on a play, on the first drive on a muff punt. You basically could have just wrapped that puppy up. It was so depressing to have that happen. Malik Washington, look, you've done some really nice stuff, kid. Jesus. That was not a great way. That was not a great way to start that game. That's an understatement. Muffing a punt. Just Zach Sealer, like, once again, just right in Jordan Love's kitchen for the second week in a row, almost has a near fumble. I hate that the forward motion. Like, guy obliterated him. All right, whatever. Great drive by the defense. Be their only great drive. And just a special teams gaffe to the home team to give them new friggin' life. And right into the end zone, dude. A sickening start to the game. Like I felt physically ill to start the game because I'm like, that's so ominous. Like, immediately you're like, you're not winning that game. You're not winning that game when it starts like that. You're not. And then you're like, all right, well, let's see what happens. Let's see what the Dolphins offense has for everybody. And what they had was, all right, well, we'll start off the game, false start, cool. They'll do that a couple of times. We'll just have a lot of laundry on the field. Tua would get sacked. He fake-handed it off to nobody. Then there was some kind of fight, but only the Dolphin got penalized for the fight. Only Jonnu Smith got penalized for the fight. There was a 3rd and 29. Well, like, oh, swell. This is going great, everybody. So, you have your 7th long snapper of the season, because I don't know why the long snapper they regularly have, they're for some reason not keeping a regular long snapper. But anyway, whatever. They avoid disaster. In the midst of this, by the way, there's all these friggin' Packers mushing Tua's head into the thing. Like, that's cool. Jerks. But anyway, you lose Kader Kohu like the next drive, which was not great. He got like his back broken in half, Mike Tyson spinal, and Jordan Love just kept throwing to this behemoth tight end. This dude was incredible all day. Tucker Kraft. Oh my God, this guy was. You want to talk about what you wish Julian Hill could be? That wasn't a penalty machine. This dude is like literally trying to tackle a rhinoceros. He was. You want to like talk about like the idea of the Dolphins not being able to handle cold, and they have somebody like that who's like a legitimate polar bear that you have to bring down. Oh my God. And Josh Jacobs was just mowing down first down runs, everything that they had. And he'd get into the end zone. They'd go up 14-0, and you're like, all right, well, that wasn't awesome. And so, all right, Dolphins start going to Alec Ingold. They're like, all right, let's use our secret weapon, Ingold. He looks, he's the hometown kid. Let's start rolling with him. We'll get a couple passes to him. He gives a big time block. Dolphins get themselves in a good position, and then it's like, all right, 4th and 4. Let's see what's going on here. Then they get a delay a game. Okay, we're going to go for the field goal. Never mind. Green Bay penalty, and then Tua scans the field. Sick-ass pass to Jalen Waddle. Gets the Dolphins the first down. But then the next play, Achan's out there. He's like, all right, loss of 5. We'll go to Malik Washington. That goes nowhere. And then you're sitting here, and it's 3rd and goal, and it's incomplete. And you're just like, all right, well, I guess they're going to have to settle for the field goal. And you kind of knew, like, it was right. This was like, there were just all these signs along the way in the first half, because it was just the feeling of, okay, first, muff punt, give him a touchdown. That can't happen. Then it's like, okay, now you're settling for field goals. That can't happen. You can't trade field goals and touchdowns all the way. But, you know, you're hoping to yourself, you're like, all right, well, let's see what's going on here, right? Let's hope things can go well, because the defense, then the next drive, they actually make a stand. 14-3. Okay, offense, let's get it rolling. They get an offsides to start things off. Let's see. And Tua gets a beautiful pass to Raheem Mostert. Nice catch by the vet back. Little fade route on the sidelines. Boom. Let's go. All right. Then they get a holding call. More laundry on the field for the Dolphins. Tua goes to Jonnu Smith. His favies goes to him. And then he just got he got lit up once. Sack. All right. Then it's like 3rd and 8. And Tua then he went from getting lit up to getting lit the up, because Teron Armstead barely got out of his stance, and Tua was already getting crunched in the face. And that drive was immediately dead. And you're just like, that was rough, man. The Dolphins just, and this was just like one of those things where, like, just out of the blocks, you just can't do anything. Nothing to sustain a drive. And anytime you thought that there was hope, there was either a penalty or a sack to just destroy everything, you know? And that was a bummer. That was a huge, huge bummer. And just to add injury to insult, okay, or insult to injury, whatever way it's supposed to go, dude, you guys get it. Chris Brooks, your former running back, one of your darlings of camp, final days are like, do we keep him? He was kind of hurt. Let's let him go. Oh, he's going to go mow down Dolphins defenders on this, and no one's going to be able to tackle him because, yeah, he runs like a freaking mastodon. Cool. He's, you know, that one just didn't stick the dagger in a little bit. And, you know, a few plays later, Jordan Love puts them up 21-3. It's an effing disaster, dude. Everything. Offensive line was crumbling. The Finns secondary was dropping like flies at this point. Cam Smith got hurt. I think he hurt his shoulder. He never came back. Special teams has been a disaster. And, you know, to me, this was, all right, so the Dolphins get the ball back. Time is ticking away. And you needed an answer. You know, you needed an answer here from the Dolphins. You needed to get into the end zone because you were going to get the ball back. And instead, QB1, this to me, you could look at his game. His stats are tremendous. I've gotten lit up on Twitter by, I guess, Tuanon is still a thing because, you know, whatever. Here's the point. So he said coming into this game that he was looking forward to killing a lot of narrative. That he was looking to kill the narratives. Tua has never won a game in the 40s. He is, I think, 0-6 if he's like 46 and under. He's 3-12 if it's 55 and under. The team doesn't win when it's cold. They don't. It's not even a narrative. It's a fact. Those are records. Those are what has actually happened. This team, when it goes to the cold, forget the word narrative. You know, Jason Garrett ended today. He goes, "The narrative lives on." I hate Jason Garrett, by the way. The narrative lives on. It's not a narrative. It's a stone cold fact. This team, this quarterback, they do not play well in the cold. And to me, 21-3, you're down in a situation here. You need to respond. You need to respond. And the Dolphins, to me, got nothing from their quarterback here. And it's great. This may have been his lone bad drive of the game, but to me it was the most important, because what happened then after was that Green Bay would respond and they would get a field goal with like 8 seconds left, just because, Jordan Love throwing a craft, boom, Jalen Ramsey can't tackle him. Then with just heat in the dude's face, throws it, sets him up for field goal range, boom. They're up 3 touchdowns going into the break. And the game was essentially over. Like, you're down 3 touchdowns on the road in a game like this when you guys can't do anything. And yeah, you're going to look and you're like, Tua he missed Cheetah wide open in the middle of the field. And then he threw a ball to Malik Washington, who got completely lit the hell up. And then he threw a ball to Achane that was nowhere near him, and it was a bad drive by him. And it may have been the only bad drive by Tua, but you guys cannot argue that it was the most important time when you need that guy to have a big drive, because he wants to go out there and he wants to kill narratives. He was the one out here who was talking all that shit. And if I were to make a list today of the reasons the Dolphins lost, you probably could make 10 reasons before you got to Tua as one of the reasons that they lost. But he wasn't also anywhere near. Could he erase anything? Could he lift the team up? Could he eradicate anything? Could he keep drives going? Could he keep his team disciplined? No, not enough today. There was some good window dressing there at the end. They had a little bit of spunk there at the end, but there was, but it wasn't enough. And then they come out, it's like starting to snow. You're like, oh, that's a great friggin' sign. It's starting to snow. I'm sure that's going to go well. And let me explain this. So all right, so you come out of the half, you're down 21 points. All right. And the Dolphins get a delay a game on a 3rd down to make it a 3rd and 8. So now it goes from 3rd and short to 3rd and long. And Tua, he's got all day, can't connect with OBJ over the middle. Just not sharp. Okay. Punt. No big deal, right? So the Packers get the ball, and Jordan Love, perfect example of this, right? It doesn't seem like a big play because you're probably already at this point, maybe you're just lost in your I don't know, in your tryptophan or your drinks or whatever. But Jordan Love had 2-3 rushers in his face. No business completing a play. Great play to Jaden Reed. One hand catch in the cold, snow coming down. That team, and this isn't just a Tua thing, but it's that team just was built for the elements. And the Dolphins are just meekly going away. They tack on a field goal. They go up, and now you're up 27-3 in the 3rd quarter, and you're like, oh, yeah, the Dolphins have a good shot of coming back in this game. They have a good shot. And you know what? For a couple of drives, they gave you that fake faith. And I guess why people got so mad at me on social media, because I had the audacity to tweet that Tua killing a narrative is not a narrative, it's a stone cold fact, because they don't want to blame him. I'm not blaming him. I mean, he deserves some blame. He's the quarterback. But I think my track record as a guy who roots for Tua, roots for the Dolphins, roots for this team, I think anybody who, takes in my content knows I'm probably one of the more optimistic people out there. But yeah, like it's like you've watched this movie so many times. And so like this fake buildup of like, oh, they're gonna make a valiant effort here. And then this is like, yeah, the second half already, the damage is done because you're down 24 points to Green Bay on the road. But okay, let's buckle up, because then he does have a fantastic drive. And he loves throwing to Jonnu Smith. Goes to Jonnu Smith. They start going to Raheem Mostert a little bit more. He had a huge run. Even with Tyreek Hill, hold on. Another, oh my God, there was so much laundry on the field. But two of them would go to Jonnu Smith. That's his whole faithful. Jonnu, another monster game for him. What can you say? His season, he's been absolutely tremendous. Jalen Waddle, sick-ass first down. Achane gets in, and then Tua to Achane. What a catch by Tua to Waddle for the 2-point conversion. Sick-ass catch. Jalen Waddle, he's had a nice bounce back these last couple of weeks. When he's, he came up with some big time catches today. Props to him. And it was a great throw by Tua. But, this is the thing. Are they going to tease us? Are they going to make this a thing? We would soon find out, right? And the Packers didn't do anything. Huge hit by Zach Sealer. Big loss. Sets them up. Dolphins about to get the football back. Could they get this thing to be a thing? It's 27-11. They make the 2-point conversion. It's 16 points. So you're going to have to get 2 touchdowns, 2-point conversions. No margin for error. You want to know why? Because you put yourself in a mother bleeping 24-point hole. Okay? If this isn't a microcosm for the season and what the game was, because the Dolphins, valiant effort, and you guys can be proud of it, and you guys can go look and be like, oh, come on, look at the numbers. Dude, they put themselves in this position. To have to be perfect. That's what they did. Just like they did with the season. And if it was against a crappy team in their building, you know that they would come through. But when the lights are a little bit brighter, does it basically take the team that they're facing letting their guard down? Because they're like, we got these punks. They quit. They basically made you tap out halfway through the game. It was over already. And then when you wanted to give any Dolphin fan that was hanging on for a little bit of faith, could you rely on your coach to come through with any of the calls when you needed it most? Goal line, being right there, refs ignoring Tua getting mauled, right there, getting it to the goal line, Devon Achane at the 1. Could you come up with anything to get it into the end zone? I think you guys already know the answer to that. Funny man's got no answers. He just sits there making himself a meme. He doesn't have any answers because he never has answers when you need him. And the team's never good to go when we need him to get the team good to go. So congratulations. You guys got me a little too snarky on Twitter, and you don't think Tua deserves enough of the blame. Well, you want to know something? Great. Congratulations. Put his box score up in the rafters. Do they even have those in stadiums? No, it's open. Well, I guess technically they have a canopy. They could if they wanted to. They could hang it from the canopy. But like all of these drives that he had, like when things were, the game was over, dude. It was over already. Like, what are we talking about? And then as soon, by the way, as this happens, where, nothing happens and the Dolphins don't get in the end zone, what then, of course, how does Green Bay answer? Josh Jacobs just running up your keister. Killing you. and then throwing to that giant intangible rhinoceros who nobody just runs over everybody because they're built for it. They are built for the cold. They are built to travel. They are built to do it wherever they need to do it. The Dolphins are not. It's not a narrative. It's a fact. It's a fact. I hate it that it's a fact because I don't want it to be a fact, but I don't want it to be told it's a narrative. And the quarterback came into the week talking that saying, I'm ready to kill narratives, and they weren't ready to do anything other than erase a narrative and just make it a fact. So congratulations, Tua, on having a game where you went out there and put up good stats where your team was already down 3 tutties. Bully for you, dude. And I'm sure you want to know something, guys. I'm sure he's super proud of it. Not. Yeah, I'm sure Tua's loving looking at his numbers. He will laugh in your face if you told him he had a good game today. Be like, great. Thanks for my good game where I put up 17 points. 17 points. I put up 17 points when my team was already down 21-3 at a blink of an eye, and I mustered 17 points. I'm sure he's really proud of his yards. Stop babying him. Stop it. I'm a fan of him. I like him. Stop babying him. Think of this as a team. He said a stupid thing. He's been super cocky this entire season. I get it. He's had a lot of people coming after him. I've ripped a lot of them. I've defended the guy up and down. But he's the face of the team. He said a bold thing coming into the week, and his team shit the bed. They shit the bed, and he was part of that shitting. Maybe not as much as other parts. Maybe he was a little turd, while others were catastrophic diarrhea. But he also took part in the shitting of the bed because he is the face of the team. And in the most critical drive where the team needed points, he had one of his worst drives of the game. Rallied. Cool. Rallied. Also, they were on the doorstep. Did they get in the end zone? No. I blame more of that on the coach. I blame most of this game. I blame on the coach. The coach has all the jokes in the world. Oh, I'm going to throw ice cubes at people. Great. Throw them down your pants. Because every time we need you, McCoachin, you shrivel. It's ridiculous, dude. And I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it. Because the thing with this game was, I don't even know if Green Bay's that good. I don't know how good they are. I think they're pretty good. But I don't think they're like going to win the Super Bowl. But I think they're pretty good. And the Dolphins couldn't even compete with a pretty good team on the road. Not like a juggernaut. Not the Chiefs, not the Bills, not the Lions. And I get that's a good division, so they're kind of a weird third place team. But they didn't look like they belonged on the same field. Not in discipline, not in fundamentals, not in toughness, not in strength, not in durability, not in quarterbacking. So, not in coaching. But whatever. If it don't make everybody feel better being mad at me on Twitter, go for it, dude. I don't care. You want to know why? Because I haven't been a Tua hater. Been one of his biggest public supporters. But I think he'd even tell you that was not good enough. And your team needing a half to get out of the starting block, not good enough. And him and that coach, yeah, they got to have a real come to football gods moment. Because if you think that you're going to go to any of the top 3 playoff teams in the AFC, which is by a miracle if somehow you could squeak in and you're going to take on Pittsburgh, Buffalo, or KC. If you took on any of those teams and anybody in this state of mind believes they could win on the road, you are nuts. You're nuts. You're nuts. You're nuts. But it's okay. It's okay. It's fine. It's fine. Look at his box score. Great. I did. Can't wait to hold that up. Everybody with their holding penalties and their stupid false starts. Malik Washington, dude, you lost the game like on the first drive. It was over. Bummer, man.